Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Puppy along with your man Four Bears here for your Sunday afternoon, morning, whatever time it is for you in the world. We're here to entertain you on this fine Sunday. How are you doing, Forebears?
I'm good. There's a big emphasis on whatever time of day it is for you guys, because over here in Pacific time zone, Guffinator and I, who we're gonna be interviewing later, we're just waking up over on East Coast. Happy afternoon to all y'all, and it's nighttime for you.
Well, it's about 5 o'clock for myself, so yes,
It's 5 o'clock in the evening, so
yeah. But it works pretty well, to be honest.
We're so excited to be here. We're so excited to finally be like, hey, it's episode 1. So this is our second time now doing this, first time being draft day. So, hopefully we've ironed out all the kinks. We're so ready to deliver to you guys the best possible content here on Overwatch Pretenders. And so it's gonna be a really, really fun time. We have a lot of stuff planned in store too.
Yes, a lot of stuff, yeah. Thanks very much for your help as well.
Who, mine?
Yeah, with yourself and everybody in the Overwatch Pretender server, they've all been fantastic with submitting their plays.
Shout out to the Discord.
Hell yeah,
Love you guys.
Thanks very much.
It's been an explosive week 1. It's been so interesting. We have an introduction of 4 new teams. We had so many games, 3 of them on the same day, right? So obviously, just so much stuff to really parse through. And honestly, thank you all for totally giving a lot of the feedback on how draft day went, and just giving us all the support that I don't know if we've deserved so far, but I mean, does it feel good? So let's just get straight into it. Welcome new teams, right? We have
I was going to say, we should probably go through a little bit what we're actually going to cover during this podcast. In the idea, we got a little running order of how we're going to run things, and it's kind of, a lot of it's going to be quite off the cusp because we want it to feel as natural as possible so you guys can feel like you're part of it as well, because we'll be reacting sort of Twitch chat and we will be sort of looking at your comments and kind of just going through those sort of discussions of how we thought that what week 1 went, all that, everything like that. But initially we'll be talking about sort of news, everything that's going on to do with the server, to do with results, changes in the server, teams to watch out for, players to watch out for, that sort of stuff. And then news regarding the meta changes, the new hero, of course, which we got to see.
The new hero is going to be really cool. Yeah, I have a lot of information on her in particular. And after, we also have interviews. We're going to be interviewing Guffinator. You know him as a wonderful caster for the Overwatch Pretenders. I know him as a guy who loves me, so that's okay. We have Cypher, the de facto team captain over for Lightbringers, and we have a special guest at the very end. I'm pretty sure all of you know who it is, but it is the Overwatch Pretenders founder, Ember, and I have a lot of questions for him. So, and of course, throughout the entire time, we'll also be grabbing questions from Twitch chat. So if you guys have any questions, throw them in, and we'll also sort of pick and choose the ones that we want, and we'll be asking those as well. So it's gonna be a really, really fun day. So let's get started.
Oh yeah. So initially, I suppose the first thing we should probably talk about is the week 1. And what a fantastic week it has been, as I just smoothly transition over to our sort of media, and we can have a look through all the different bits that have kind of come through, and let's firstly go through, I guess, would have to be the new teams. So we've got 4 new teams: Alpine Wars, Breakthrough, SWIA, or Single Women in Your Area, and also Mild Esports. A lot of sorts of new players there as well. We've kind of highlighted in yellow the ones that we think are really kind of ones that we want to sort of stand out. And the coaches.
They're the coaches. I was about to say.
I just realised as I looked at it, I thought they were ones, because I know that you've done the different ones on different on graphics. So that's fine, no problem.
Right.
Yeah. So there's the coaches there: Felicity, Matty A, Garden, Ben, and Impact, and I am Scary Sus.
I'm Scary Sus. I mean, hey, there you go, right? And yeah, we have a lot of brand new talent coming in, and we covered a lot of that sort of at extent during draft day, but we also have a lot of people sort of returning to the scene, like We have like Elodian, right? We have Adandi. We have on Alpine Wolves and Mod Esports specifically. We have a lot of people from Artificial Sky, like LibbyCat89 over on Breakthrough. And really a lot of this sort of off-season, swapping and trading, it's made for some really, really scary teams. I think a lot of people were, I want to say, underrating these new teams simply because a lot of the previous teams have had a lot of time playing together, a lot of time, sort of crafting this team synergy. But I mean, the results in many ways, speak for themselves, with actually 3 of the 4 expansion teams in Breakthrough Alpine Wolves, or not Breakthrough Alpine Wolves, forgive me, Single in your area, Alpine Wolves, 2 of them have already gotten W's in week 1, so we definitely know that they're definitely worth their salt, and they're going to definitely bring the pain week 2, and we've just seen a lot of really, really good Overwatch from them.
What do you think has caused them to be so successful in their first week? Do you reckon it's that kind of thought of a lot of people don't know how their playstyle is going to be, so it's kind of that unexpected sort of not knowing what's going to happen, and kind of just don't know how to counter them or react to some of their plays? Who's going to be the aggressor and stuff like this? Do you need to react a lot? Or what do you think has been successful with them?
I play. Okay, and this is gonna go on a bit of a tangent for a second. Like, I play a lot of card games, right? Like, I play like Hearthstone, for example. And when a new season sort of rolls around, you see a lot of weird stuff in the meta kind of like push up to the top because like there's usually some sort of gimmick around it, and a lot of people don't exactly know how to play around it. And I think a lot of it is happening right now. We have a lot of new like hero reworks coming into season 2. We have a lot of different like buffs and nerfs. I feel like people are still trying to work around the new Pharah. If you looked over at Overwatch World Cup, you saw a spike in Zen play and a dip in Ana play, contrary to what the off season was like here for Overwatch Pretenders. And I feel like people aren't exactly knowing how to respond to it. So I mean, what above everything else sort of predominates all of that, all of that strategy? It's going to be mechanical aim. So I feel like a lot of people currently are relying on just sort of their skill to really push these early wins, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how teams can learn to scrim against each other and learn each other's play styles as the meta sort of settles down, as these new strategies start coming through, right?
For sure.
So I'm really, really excited to see that. Do you want to talk about week 1 real quick? Yes,
definitely. Yeah, seems like a good time to sort of move on to this kind of standings that we've got currently. So we kind of highlighted in yellow the guys who have got the W this week, which actually we haven't found that we have any kind of particularly really, really close games apart from Mod Esports and Swia, who did take it to games 5 themselves.
That was such an intense game. I was so excited to watch that. So we're looking over at the results right now. Lightbringers, 4-0'd Mercury Cougars, Toxic Storm, also 4-0'd Skyhounds, Alpine Wolves 3-1 over Breakthrough, Action News Team 1-3 over Nova, or 1-3 losing to Nova, Night Ops over on 7sins 3-1, and of course that first instance of Busan over in 3-2 on the Swia ME matchup. What do you get? I mean, what were any surprises here? Like, what are your initial reactions?
I think no real kind of surprises there as such, as I know that
as a Mercury Cougar, I'm offended that you said that.
I guess Mercury Cougars, I mean, obviously they're close to my heart, and we'll go through some of the discussions obviously later on, which is going to involve myself as well. We'll cover that in I've already seen a couple of comments already, so yes, we will be talking about all the gossip and everything to do around Mercury Cougars and of course myself, so stay tuned for that, and I will answer any of your questions, as harsh as may be, and yeah, we'll get through it, we'll breeze through it, and hopefully get that all sort of smoothed over. Aside from that, but yeah, Skyhounds, I know they've been struggling recently with a couple of like people moving in and out. Some people have kind of, you want to leave that out of focus then? Yeah, I've kind of just sort of left the team. I know that there's a lot of coaches sort of moving in and out and everything like that. So they're kind of up in the air at the moment with their roster and their kind of changes and everything. So I'm not surprised to see this Toxic Storm take the 4-0 over them. on Friday, I believe it was, because there was plenty of games on Friday. I couldn't believe actually how many people there were on the server. It's quite incredible to see, to be honest. We didn't see it. Alpine Wolves. Alpine Wolves and Breakthrough, I mean, it could have been anybody's guess. I mean, purely what we were going by was these discussions of people in pugs and kind of different scrims and kind of free agent scrims and everything like that, which is completely different to when it comes down to actually your sort of team composition, kind of putting everybody together and seeing if they work, because you can have the best people in the league. You can have a stacked team of like people who have got high SR, but like Mercury Cougars, I mean, we're a perfect example of a team that has a kind of a high SR and hitting that kind of higher end of the sort of averages, and maybe just not getting the results that we are expected to get. So it's kind of like, I guess because we haven't got that kind of that real knowledge of these two teams, I think we'll definitely see some interesting results.
And
as they figure themselves out.
Yeah, over on Division 2, Action News team over Nova. This was an incredibly close game. Well, I think it was an incredibly close game. Also, I was the one who covered it, so hey. But Nova, I think there's a reason a lot of people think that currently they're the team to beat, and I know for a fact Action News team put in such a big fight. Like winning that first Hollywood map, and like almost taking them over to a game 5 over on Rialto. I'm interested to see how Nova is going to really function without Leone, without that really, really intense Zarya that you're going to see a couple clips of a little later. And, especially, with their other matchups, I want to hesitate when I say that, Division 2 is that's the division of death. But I know a lot of people really had that mentality going in, because of a lot of the juggernauts like Nova, like Action News team, like Suia, in there, who have a lot of, these big names. Seven Sins over Night Ops, I actually wasn't expecting, Night Ops to take it. But, they are former scuffed, they are former champions. So I don't exactly know what to say there. The big surprise for me, throughout this whole thing is Mild Esports versus Suia. And the reason being is Mild Esports, even like during like the couple days leading up to the season, like they were still sort of locking in their final roster slots. They were locking in their final, players. And I imagined that they wouldn't have a lot of scrim time together, learning the callouts, learning how, your tanks function, learning if your DPS like to flank, so on and so forth. So I was very surprised to see a game 5. I was really surprised about that, and they put in such a good fight. Like, honestly, go see them out in Esports Suia game, go see the Action News Team Nova game, because those two games for me are the ones that where it really did come down to the wire. And there are times when it could have been anybody's game. I can't say I'm not disappointed about the Lightbringers Mercury Cougars matchup. As Mercury Cougar myself, we actually scrimmed Lightbringers earlier, the week before, and the results weren't 4-0, right? The results were a bit more favorable, to us, but honestly, I can't deny that Lightbringers definitely put in the work. I know they asked a lot of other coaches to, like specifically work with their supports and work with their main teams, just to really understand where in their gameplay they lacked and where, they could have improved. And honestly, the results speak for themselves, I'm really excited to see what Lightbringers have to bring week 2, and but enough about that. Let's talk about week 2, right?
Yeah, definitely. The standings for week 2 are we have them here. Breakthrough versus Toxic Storm, Skyhounds versus Lightbringers, Mercury Cougars versus the Alpine Wolves. And then if you want to cover the rest of them and kind of give us your thoughts on the whole season, on the whole this next week, who you think is going to be the winners?
For sure. Night Ops versus Action News Team Nova on Suia, and then Mala Esports on 7 Cents. The ones that are yellow are my personal predictions on who I think is going to win this matchup. So, I also want to hear, everybody's predictions, over in Twitch chat. I think Mild Esports is going to take it with 7 Cents simply because I think it did such a good job with such little time. I think they're going to be a really, really adaptable team. I think Nova is going to take it over Suya, just because I thought that, even without, that key person, Leone there, everybody in Nova is a juggernaut in their own right. So I really think that, Nova's going to be taking that. Action News team over Night Ops. I actually got the privilege of playing with a lot of Action News team players, last night, and their comms are just on another level. I'm so incredibly impressed with them. And I really think that, I think that one's going to be a closer one than a lot of people think, but I think Action News team is going to take the W over here. Mercury Cruisers, Alpine Wolves, I know, I'm burying my own team, saying that Alpine Wolves is going to win it. But right now, I can't justify it. I feel like, there have been a little like scrim time staggers. We're still recruiting and looking to fill a couple roles. And I think Alpine Wolves, right now they're just working on perfecting their craft. Whereas we're right now working on that as well as perfecting a bit of team synergy. And I think Alpine Wolves will be taking that. And I hope to prove them wrong. Skyhounds over Lightbringers, or my bad, Lightbringers over Skyhounds. I just think Lightbringers is currently a dominant team. And, like you said, Skyhounds was, struggling a little bit. And then Breakthrough over Toxic Storm. So I guess those are my predictions. What do you guys think? Why does no one believe in Toxic Storm at one great one? I mean, we should start. Let's put it that way. We should start believing in Toxic Storm. And I'm right there with you. And I hope to see you guys prove me wrong. I hope to see everyone prove me wrong, I'm sorry for good Overwatch. Yeah,
definitely. And obviously these are just purely predictions just that made early on. So definitely you mentioned sort of Nova versus Suya, and I definitely think that is going to be the one to watch. I'm really looking forward to seeing that one, because with the way that I saw Suya play and obviously Nova play as well, both of them kind of have very unique styles and definitely ones that kind of could look to dominate the rest of the league if they kind of pull them off, and people don't really learn how to kind of counter them. I'm definitely interested to see that matchup. It's going to be probably the closest one in terms of like the higher up the bracket as well.
Right.
The rest of them, I think I would agree. I think Breakthrough at the moment, new team, definitely kind of still, again, there's that kind of issue of people not really understanding how they're going to play, not really knowing how to kind of counter them, and kind of, definitely, play against them really in general. Lightbringers over Skyhounds, we know how the Skyhounds are kind of doing right now. It's not in sort of best shape, so I think I would agree with you there that Lightbringers are looking like the stronger of the two, especially after playing them initially as well. It's kind of solidified that thought in my head.
Right.
They are definitely a team to beat. And Skyhounds, I feel bad for them, honestly, with the way that things are going. It seems like they're kind of still trying to find their feet, and I really hope they kind of do find their feet as soon as possible. So all my heart goes out to all the guys over in Skyhounds, and hopefully you guys can find a decent team roster.
Puppy, they're not dead.
Puppy, no, I know. They're not dead, but it's you know what I mean. It's just like it's at the moment they have not had the best run in terms of kind of maintaining a kind of consistent roster and kind of being able to get the results that they need to. I'm just going to try and sort of get this shovel and dig up as much as possible at the moment. But I think it seems like I'm just burying myself with more fucking dirt at the moment. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Mercury Cruisers versus Alpine Wolves. Wolves,
yeah.
A new type of animal. So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm not really going to comment too much on it with obviously all the changes that are going on with Mercury Cougars. I think that it's anyone's guess, and I'll leave it at that. Anyway, so Night Ops versus Action News Team. Action News Team, I think I would agree with you there that they are looking like one to beat as well. I did actually make a power rankings on my stream the other day, requested by Sid. Yes, they were in my I think they were in my top 3 for each sort of league. They were up there in the
speaking of which,
bracket they're in.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we do have playoff sort of details already there. So it looks like it's going to be cross bracket. So the number 2 seed of Division A is going to be battling against the number 1 seed of Division B, and then vice versa. And then those are going to be the finals. So just want to let you guys know. So if you want to make your brackets now, excuse me, yeah, let's go for that. Let's talk about some highlights of week 1.
We got a couple of more things actually that I'd like to sort of discuss through.
Sure. What's up?
Because obviously news, everything to do with news, we want to get sort of done out the way. So have you got any kind of, from watching some of the games in week 1, I want to find out kind of your players to look out for.
Players to look out for. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me quickly bring out my own personal player power ranking sheet. Uno momento.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, right. So, I had the privilege of going through, all the VODs. So let's load up Google Drive. You can do it. Okay. So so I'm gonna go through every single team, and I'm gonna say who I think 2 players everyone should be looking out for here.
Sure.
Oh. Hey, what's up? I'm on the OWPod podcast. Go away. Thanks. Bye. No one saw that. No one saw that. No. So for Seven Sins, I think that you have to look at IDK over for DPS as well as D30. I think Seven Sins DPS is really, really good right now, and it's definitely going to be one to watch out for. Especially in the match that they did play, I really like to see more of that. In terms of Action News team, oh gosh, dude, this place is filled with like GOATs, right? I do want to say that Achilles and Honks are actually the 2 people that I think are really unparalleled on their role right now. Achilles, fantastic off support. Got to meet him yesterday, by the way. He was really cool. And Honks' Dio play is just really, I don't even know how to explain it. Like almost like without saying anything, like he just knows exactly the people that the entire team is focusing on. Like right now, Action News team definitely feels like one brain running 6 people, and that's a fantastic quality to have. On Mercury Cougars, I myself now. I have to give it out to Wombo on DPS as well as a K Boogie on just as within that team, Wombo can always pull out these really big clutch plays when when required of him, and K Boogie shot calls are great. Hi, you're back. Bye. Everyone can see you. Go away. Thanks. Okay.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Anyway, on Nova, we have, let's see. I do want to say Leone, but he's over in China right now. Melody and Chat Noir, honestly. Chat Noir, just fantastic flex player in, their own right. And Melody just also very much being like the Wombo of that team in the sense that, those sort of clutch plays are just excellent in whatever map is required of them. Over in Night Ops, Beatles Zarya is excellent, as well as Ramen-kun's Reinhardt. Just those 2 are a really bombastic tank duo that I didn't expect to perform as well as they did, right? So that's going to be something. And lock my door, everyone can see me. I'm in my office room. Like this is for the family, bruh. Anyway, and then for Skyhounds, David as flex, as well as Akari. I'll just go through these like really quick. Toxic Storm, Rights as far is really good. As well, I actually haven't paid attention to anyone else. Sorry, Toxic Storm. I know you guys are getting the short end of the stick on a lot of them. On Lightbringers, Cypher, who we're actually interviewing later, their Ana is really good, and the positioning really allowed them to really follow Murky Cougars. In fact, that was someone who was, I know, bothering us a lot, as well as Coxbox's main tank. So there's that. For Alpine Wolves, you gotta give it to the tank line in Natham, as well as Elodian's DPS. For Breakthrough, I really liked Sad Widowmane and Call 911. You know, I think, you know, they just really delivered at the roles incredibly well. For a single woman in your area, you can't talk about them without talking about Costanza's Doomfist, as well as Silver Sax's support. You know, so Silver Sax just fantastic support. There's that one also has a lot of people in, you know, like Moisty, Jaharo, you know, Satoshis, just really that I still think that's going to be a fantastic team. And over on Mild Esports, Rita Rabbit is not a main tank I was expecting to perform as well as he did, along with Adante's Doomfist. So that's sort of going to be my top 24, 23, because I only did one Toxic Storm, but there's your TLDR.
No worries. Yeah, I think I agree with a lot of those. I think there's a couple there that I feel that you've missed. Personally, I would say from Nova, Ronin, his main tank has kind of been sort of unparalleled in a lot of the sort of matchups that we've seen, as well as Pig Dog's main tank as well. That's going to be a really big matchup, I reckon, in the Suia versus Nova matchup. I'm really interested to see how that goes, because I know that watching Pig Dog's sort of shatters coming off initially, he had got some absolutely huge shatters throughout the game. Kind of reminded me of Fusion's shatters against Muma in the UK versus the US game. I hate to remind all you NA people that the UK beat the US in in probably one of the biggest upsets of the Overwatch World Cup. Anyway, we'll move swiftly on before.
How did their next game go? Just out of curiosity. did they do well?
Well, you know, we got further than the US, so nonetheless, we're still at least we got that far. You know, never gave them the opportunity. Actually, no, it didn't go too bad, because we played against South Korea and nearly took 2 maps off of them. We drew, didn't we? So
honestly, I feel like that was the real like final, to be honest.
Yeah, I think
UK
a lot of people
versus South Korea. That was such a good matchup, I swear. But yeah. Anyway,
yeah. I think there's one more that I'd like to mention as well, which is Moisty and Suia. Moisty is one of those sort of DPSs that I looked at them at Cree, and I thought just unparalleled, just incredible hit scan. So yeah, I think it's going to be really one to watch. Is Moisty, so yeah, keep an eye out for them.
So you're welcome for painting targets on all of your backs. For all those people, opposite, go add that to your notebook. But yeah, sort of in terms of news, I feel like a lot of the quote unquote leaks have died down as like sort of this off season is really coming underway, or not off season. The season is really, you know, coming underway, and just a lot of people are really invested in perfecting their own craft and making that happen.
I suppose the only real kind of big news that probably people want to talk about is obviously the. But I don't know if people do want to talk about it. But I imagine me being here is kind of making people want to sort of talk about it. It's a PowerPoint. It's not a PowerPoint, actually. I think you'll find I've set this up very, very vigorously without any...
and we're going to get interviews pretty quickly after this. Just want to let you know.
But yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah. With...
Oh, rather, interview's going to be after this. Go talk on what you need to talk about, yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Then we could do sort of plays after that. That would be
sure,
really good, yeah. So obviously there's been a lot of discussion around a subject around me and kind of what I did. I obviously broke the rules, and in that I did hold a third account, and I got it to Masters last season, and I didn't actually tell anyone. So first and foremost, on the record, I've said it in the sort of chat, I can no longer do it. I can put my arm into the next screen ever so slightly. I'll have to fix that. But yes, so now I am muted. Yes, so muted Omegalaw in chat. But yes, I will be having a bit of a punishment there until I think it's probably Monday, Tuesday, whenever they decide to unmute me. And yes, so I would like to go on the record and say I very much apologise to everyone, including Lightbringers, and for what I did, because it was unacceptable, and I strongly urge anybody who does have the same kind of urge to do the same, to not do it, because in the spirit of fairness and kind of winning under the correct pretenses, I think that it's important that we kind of hold those sort of close in terms of our morals and everything like that. So yes, let's with that sort of out of the way. If anybody has any questions, feel free to sort of PM them to me or anything, and I will be more than happy to discuss it through with you. So yeah, apologies for that. Anyway, moving swiftly on, we've got one more thing to discuss, which I really, really, really want to discuss, which is the new hero, Ash.
Yeah. Yeah, so Ash. A lot of people are saying like, "Oh, she McCree's ex-girlfriend." I ship it. But another member of the Deadlock gang. She has a really cool kit. Like she has both this like this regular hip fire coming in at around 45 DPS or DP shot from what I can see on like the Emong stream. It can headshot. And as well as sort of that aim down sight coming in at around 85 for scope shots and then double for headshots, which means she can one shot a trace. And I think that's like like a pretty big thing. Her dynamite has 70 explosion damage plus 100 damage over time, similar to like the Torbjorn burn effect on his new ultimate. Sure, yeah, Deadlock Rebel, exactly. They never dated Endo. I still ship it. It's okay. Mercy and Genji never dated either. Chat. Anyway, and her knockback doesn't do any damage, but it does like a really, really big knockback that she can place to, bring, like, she can also put it like in front of her, so it can also knock the enemy team back as well as her back, sort of creating a lot of distance. And I see her very much as like an intermediate between McCree and Widow, but I very much do hesitate on currently calling her viable, simply because in terms of two-shotting most HP heroes with headshots, well, McCree can already do that, plus he has a higher rate of fire. And of course, if you just want, so like the one-shot headshot, then, you go to Widow for those purposes. Somewhere I very much do see her excelling at is kind of in like anti-dive, in the sense that if she were to be dove upon. I'll talk to you in a bit, thanks. Then I'll talk to you in a bit, thanks. Then sort of she could also bring her back as well as shoot people in the other direction. So I definitely see her working in an anti-dive comp. I see her working well also with Rhines and like the Rhine 1v1 mirror, so she can sort of like knock the Rhine up in the air and then sort of go into the shatter if you want to shatter the enemy team. I definitely see that. I don't know how well she's going to work a lot with like the brawler tank types like D.Va and Roadhog, but I want to hear your thoughts on it.
I think definitely it's probably to the groans of a lot of main tank players that there's a lot more kind of CC and kind of pushback, knockback abilities that she's got. It's definitely going to sort of make a lot of, and I personally have been feeling that pain because I played a lot of ladder, and knowing that a lot of people don't actually want to play main tank, I don't think this is going to encourage those main tank players that were previously enjoy it to come back and start playing main tank. So I think in a way it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out when she's added into competitive, and see how sort of the professionals sort of use her and kind of abuse her.
Right.
It's definitely going to be one to watch for. I want to see how it runs against goats as well. I don't know how that's going to affect it. I think it's really going to be quite useful against ghosts because of the knockback
I don't
ability.
think it will.
But
I don't think it will.
No,
I think you need more. What's the word I'm looking for? I think you just need more shield burst and more like rush. And I know she has, a lot of, mobility, but I feel like the strength of goats in many ways was its HP pool. Unless you want to run like this really, really weird comp where like Bob's the fourth tank. with her ultimate, right, which is just 1200 HP of pure HP, by the way. And Bob can also charge, knock people up in the air, and have the fusion cannons at 80 DPS, by the way. Which sounds really, really good on paper, because wherever Ash aims, Bob's going to go in that direction. So you could just sort of like aim at the Zen in the back line. If you do get that flank around, with your mobility, use Bob, aim at the back line. The back line in many ways is shredded. I see her very much as a flanker DPS, and I don't think flanker DPSs belong in goats.
Okay. The main reason why I sort of suggested that it might be fairly decent against goats is because of the AoE of the dynamite that goes off, and the burn that comes afterwards as well. I think that's going to allow her to, again, similar to how Junkrat and Fire works against goats, help her build a sort of an ult economy very, very quickly. I don't know how much that kind of like the dynamite burn actually affects.
Hold that thought. I'm gonna mute my mic and turn off my camera. I'll be back in 1 minute. But keep talking. I can hear you.
No worries. Oh my god. Now we're stuck with this. I need an extra little bit of black screen. We'll sort that out at another time. Anyway, but yeah, so I can see her really, really working really well with against Ghost because of that reason, because of the fact that she's got that AoE burst with the dynamite sort of damage at the time as well, and the knockback ability as well. Obviously, being able to precision HP, USB H. Oh my god. I really need a black screen to go over the top of that, but I'll do that a little bit later. It's fine. But yeah, against teams like Run Goats, definitely being able to knock that Rhine out of position so they didn't have that protection from that shield is definitely going to be something that's going to be really useful as well, if you can knock them back and out of the way and out of position. Because they're kind of, as a Ghost comp, it kind of revolves around kind of being very close to each other and being able to kind of focus down a target. And if you've got one element of that particular lineup that isn't in the best position, then I think that definitely could be exploitable, especially if you were something like a Junkrat and your D.Va. The D.Va isn't on point on the Goat side as well. So yeah, it should be very, very interesting to see how she works against Goats. But she's, I think, is a very, very, all these things that I'm kind of mentioning are very situational and very sort of based on whether or not you can actually kind of get yourself into a position where you can knock back the Rhine or get a good dynamite off, and that's.
Are you still talking about goats?
Yeah. Again, I think that's yeah. Well, it's goats, isn't it at the moment? Like, I mean, you watched sort of the UK roll through a lot of our teams because they ran goats so well. The Brig stun into shatter combos are just really, really powerful at the moment. That'd be another thing that's quite interesting as well, is just being able to kind of displace the either the Brig or the Rhine for that combo. Obviously these are all very, very situational, and they may not end up. She's probably like a worse Junkrat overall, so I don't think it's going to be as good as something like a Farah or a Junkrat. But I think it'll be interesting to see if they make any tweaks to her. Maybe they might make a few tweaks to kind of counteract Goats a little bit more. I know that we've seen like a few nerfs that are coming in, especially like from Doomfist and stuff like that, kind of looking desperately searching for something that's going to affect the Goats comp, but yeah, never mind. Right.
I have to get interviews because I do know that one of our interviewers has to like leave in a couple minutes, and I kind of want to make sure we're getting those, and we're gonna be bringing in Guffinator real quick.
Let me know when you're gonna do it. Just need to sort out the cameras.
And he's waiting for your join call. Tell me when you're ready.
Alright. Crack on.
Are we in? Am I live?
Hey, you're in, and you're live. How's it going?
It's good, man. It's going good, guys. How are you, Pup? Forebears, what's happening? What is going live?
We're perfect. All right, we're in now. We're good. How are you?
Doing great, man. By the way, I love all of this stuff you guys got in here. This podcast looking nice. It's looking nice in this little room we got up top here. So that's pretty great.
Lots of swooshes. Check out that Guff face reveal, right? Yeah. So everyone, here's Guffinator. Check him out at twitch.tv/THEE_Guffinator. And he's you know him as sort of a caster, and I just kind of wanted to ask you, what is it like being a caster? Like, what are some challenges you face? And what are some teams that you're on the lookout for, and any plays that you witnessed this week that you want to mention? Like, just go to town. Let's start chatting.
Yeah, definitely. So first off, for anybody who doesn't know, I wanted to throw in one quick thing. I don't know if you guys heard, we had a meetup yesterday right by BlizzCon. It was a big official Overwatch Pretenders meetup. It was me, Spidey, and Revy, just the three of us. But
you saw Spidey's face. Face
I've
reveal
seen
from Spidey.
Spidey's face. Now, do you guys know the comedian John Mulaney?
Does he look exactly like him?
He both looks and sounds like John Mulaney. If you haven't seen John Mulaney, look him up on YouTube. Find something for him. He's on a Netflix show, Big Mouth. He literally looks and sounds like John Mulaney. So
he also has two Netflix specials, New in Town and Comeback Kid, also on Netflix.
Dude,
Which big John Mulaney shows.
I could not get over. I was laughing talking to him, and he was like, "What's funny?" And I was like, "You're John Mulaney, but with glasses." He wears glasses. So John Mulaney with just some of these on, and you got it. So that's it's pretty easy. But so yeah, it was really cool meeting up. We met up at a gamer bar and watched the finals, the semifinals, and the finals of the World Cup game, and it was super cool. So if you guys ever see anything like that, love to have more people at the next meetup. I know that there's only so many people in one tiny area of Southern California, but
I can't get that.
I know,
you, bro.
Pup's got it the worst. I imagine you probably, you got it pretty hard, but
there's no excuses from anybody else. It costs you like what, $50-$60 max from anywhere in the US to get to somewhere. Surely.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the same for us. We get to come to Scotland in like 80 quid or something like that.
There you go. Yeah. Much. So I mean, it was fun. I just want to talk about that. It was a really good time. So getting to your actual questions, as far as being a caster is concerned, I know I was one of the I wouldn't say the first casters, but I think when we started to get a little more official is when I started casting, and there was a few times where I either would cast solo or maybe I would have to do a few roles at once. And so being a new caster, kind of, I would say challenges in being a new caster are probably like keeping up with everything going on. Obviously there's a ton happening on the screen at any time. You've got teams, you got plays happening. If you're doing the play-by-play, you're trying to keep up with this Genji who's nano blading through a whole team and trying to keep up with what he's doing, or maybe also trying to notice that Ana in the back line and seeing like kind of what she's doing support wise and kind of trying to keep up with all that. And so I know as a play-by-play that gets kind of tricky, and then as an analyst watching the different team comps come out and kind of watching for those swaps, it's kind of weird to be caught off guard when you're like, oh man, there's a Mei all of a sudden. I didn't even notice like the swap at the top of the screen, even though that information's always available for you. So
for sure. But yeah. And how obviously like you don't have the sort of like facilities that OWL or kind of like OWC has to be able to kind of see those different angles and kind of produce this sort of kind of high quality sort of different angles and kind of get those perspectives that you need to, well, hopefully with the World Cup viewer coming to sort of more of the public, that should make it a little bit easier for yourself as a caster, as an amateur caster, to kind of produce a bit more of like a, oh, I wonder what happened there, let's go back and watch it kind of thing.
Exactly. I'm really excited for like the number one tool I see those casters using that I wish I had is that like you see them with a tablet, and I don't know if you've seen them at the caster booth.
No,
they've got those tablets with the little dots on them with the characters moving across the map, almost like what they have right now in the replay system. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would kill for that just to see where they all are live action without having to actually move around in the free cam. Yeah, that'd be so nice. Sure. So I am excited for those tools.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
It should be good for this one.
Besides that, really, I think the number one thing I do when I'm casting is I just try to bring the hype to it. If I'm play-by-play, and if I'm analyzing, I might kind of slow down a little bit. But even then, you see a 4-man Rhine shatter. How are you not going to start yelling? It's almost hard to not yell over the caster next to you. Like I get excited. That's why I love casting. I love seeing good plays. I like it when plans come together. That's the beauty of this league. So
that's kind of like the nice dynamic that a lot of the kind of casting duos have. Is you have the kind of generic sort of like very much sort of be able to kind of break down plays, the kind of analyst type sort of person that you have, and then you have the kind of like hype cast, the person who kind of able to kind of give you a real kind of in-depth sort of casting opinion over the over this kind of the plays as they physically are going on, and leave that kind of individual kind of when in between plays you kind of get that analysis sort of breakdown from the other person. So it's a really good dynamic. Do you have anybody that you've worked with that you felt that you had like a really good dynamic with and you kind of work with again?
So it's funny you bring that up. When I first was casting, there wasn't a lot of casters. That was kind of the trick there. Like how there's not a lot of streamers. Shout out everybody watching out there. The casting team could use some more streamers. So if you like to do streaming on Twitch and you want to stream to the Overwatch page for us and kind of do the camera work, we need more people like that. But to answer your question, when I first started streaming, I actually hit my coach. I was in Scuffed originally in season 0, and my coach Booma, he's not actually a caster, but he's a good buddy of mine. He's up in Masters on his main account, but he'll play in his alt. Him and I like to duo queue sometimes in Diamond, and he actually I hit him up and said, hey, would you mind being with me on this first game I'm casting, just so I have somebody to talk to. And I said, just analyze in between and I'll do all the hype stuff. And so that's been really nice, especially from a coach. It was really cool to have a coach's perspective. And then then I think I actually took the coach from Scorched also. I took a few people who I don't think they were casters, and I just kind of said, hey, you're a coach I've talked to once. Can you just kind of say what's going on when I'm done yelling about all the craziness happening? So,
right.
But besides that, I love, everybody else, all the official casters. Yeah, it's been real fun. Typically, we'll kind of figure out ahead of time who's doing what, and if not, we can always just go back and forth. If I got a brand new caster, we might swap out. Maybe he can feel the waters on both or whatever, and figure out what works for him. And so I don't mind doing either one. But
something I do want to do is I want to hear your tier list of, I'm not going to say the best because that buries people and that's a mean thing to ask of you, but who are your other favorite people to work with?
I'm
mainly just looking for compliments. Just putting that out there.
It's like a clear fish right there. Just trying to really.
I know.
No. Like in reality, we have a lot of talent in Slime Threepwood. I had the privilege of working with Moshi Man, as well. So we have a lot of people. I know there's a new person in Ace who also wanted to be part of the casting thing. I really hope I'm not missing anyone. But talk to me a little bit about sort of, like what it means to have synergy with another caster, and who are your favorite people to work with, straight up.
Like I say, I think my hands down favorite would have to be, just from experience and from time being with him, would be Booma, just because we played so much together, we've been together so long. Four Bears, I'm getting to you, so just hold on a second. I mean, how can you? I comp with this guy for 4 or 5 hours a day. We have both the strats that we say to the team, and we're in the Discord going, oh my gosh, this idiot needs to get off Genji. I mean, like, we're there, we're talking all the time, so it's just kind of that natural synergy. That's why I encourage people, if they do cast, usually we try to get everybody together early because you almost want to get the friendship going. So, but yeah, no, I had a fun time casting with Four Bears. I really did. I know he's pushing himself, and this might seem like a forced answer, but I really did have a fun time playing with him or casting with him. That was really good. And it was cool because it's neat that you noticed that I was casting and streaming at the same time. And when I do that, I kind of don't talk as much because I'm trying to like show a good camera angle and I'm trying to talk about it. And when there's a streamer separate, then I can just I can kind of just zone out on stuff and focus on stuff a little better. But then I'm all like, okay, well, everyone's got to get the nice shot, or, the Twitch chat's going to be there like, NA production can't look at the game. And it's like, shut up, I'm talking about it too. So
yeah, we hear that so much too.
Do you know what? Even though there's not like sort of loads going on, and like, because I'm having to sort of do this myself at the moment. We will next week hopefully have someone similar who's going to stream it for us as well, so I don't have to kind of do all the things that you were sort of talking about as well. Just like adjusting like Four Bear's name, which I've just recently done because I forgot that I spelled it completely wrong. Even like doing small stuff like that, just when there's no real sort of like live plays sort of going on. I know how you feel. It definitely is a bit of a challenge to kind of do multiple things at once, especially as blokes as well. We're not built for multitasking. Is definitely if you're going to go more down the sexist route, I guess. So please don't TOS or anything like that,
Whatever it is, yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's quite cool. So I mean, obviously you've had a little bit of a chat opportunity to watch some of the sort of games and stuff like that. Have you got any sort of like plays in the sort of opening week that you kind of wanted to mention? Is there any kind of like anything that stood out for you that you kind of thought, wow, that was a real game-changing moment? That was a real kind of sort of matchup.
Yeah, I've got a few plays going on. Did you guys want to talk about the teams at all, or did you want to go ahead and just skip down to the plays part, my highlights?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, we can go through.
Let's do both. We actually have a couple of clips, curated by Guffinator, and he's just gonna be sort of speaking his thoughts over these clips on why why he chose these plays and just how pog they are. So hey, let's bring it up.
Okay.
Well, hold up. Where were these plays?
Oh,
in my notes, I have them at the bottom. I have the links.
All right. So anyway, while he brings those up, hey, chat, let's talk. This is an ASMR channel now. Oh wow.
Because I've just realized something. I can't actually go into the notes because they're on a different Discord channel, and if I come off of this, it's gonna mess up the cameras. Oh, this is a pickle.
We could just play the audio. Let's just play the audio and just talk them through it. All right, here's what's happening.
All right.
Here's what's on the screen. Imagine, if you will.
Okay. We'll rather, instead of that, we'll actually add, your clip sort of at the end of the stream, if that's okay. Why don't you talk a little bit about your top 3 teams of,
okay.
Of just the league so far?
So, you guys told me top 3. I honestly, I'll come clean. I didn't do my homework. All I remember is the 2 games I casted, and I went back and looked, and it turns out all I saw was Group 2. So, apologies to Group 1. And I looked at 2, and I saw that Group 1 looked stronger. I mean, I saw 2 4-0s at the top of the list, whereas Group 2, nobody had a complete shutout. So I think the top teams on Group 1 know what they're doing right. It looks like they've... I know, I'm sorry. Who they 4-0'd against, we don't need to talk about it, but they 4-0'd, and that's good for them. So, as far as Group 2 is concerned, I know definitely the Nova versus Ant team, the Ant game was really good. I loved watching that. It was really cool to watch Nova, a team that's been around so long, versus Action News team, a team who, first of all, amazing video intro. If you guys didn't get to see that, you guys need to... I wish every team in the league had something like that. I'm sure Achilles would get like way too overworked because he made that video. But really cool intro highlight video for him. I like watching them play. I really had nothing bad to say about them. I think they ended up losing their game, but I think they did a really good job for a team that's just starting. So I don't have anything really to critique about them. I noticed maybe a little, if I'm being a little like kind of like a coach to some of these teams, I would say that maybe they're popping a lot of Olsen fights and they maybe should have staggered them a little bit better. But besides that, everything looked pretty okay for them, considering that they were going against Nova.
Right.
Nova was awesome though. Nova won. Awesome stuff from them as well. Strong team play. We saw Leon. He was one of the original Doomfist busting it out last season and showing us that Doomfist was becoming meta. At about the same time the World Cup was showing us that. And seeing his play on Doomfist and Zarya, which is amazing how if you have a really good DPS player, it transfers so well to Zarya. If you're running goats, if you're running anything, that mechanical skill transfers so well. So it was really cool seeing him. And then Crow also doing really well in the DPS. And then I like seeing Melody. You and I were casting this game together, and I said, you guys need to... Nova has some crazy strats sometimes. They've had Reaper Mei comps in the past, and I said, bust out that Mei. And they swapped to it, and they started doing good with it, and it was awesome. So
I'm still gonna say, Ant didn't play Wrecking Ball, so I mean, that's just gonna be the reason Nova won. I'm still gonna.
There you go.
I'm still gonna work with that. Well, Guff, thank you for your time. Feel free to, right now, red carpet is rolled out for you. Tell the people what they have going on in your life.
What's going on in my life?
Yeah.
I mean, besides the meetup, nothing. I just woke up. I'm gonna go back to bed.
Guff, plug. like plug your stuff.
Oh, I'm yeah. If you guys haven't seen my channel before, I am unofficially the #1 backup for the OWP server whenever it goes offline, because I'm typically casting and streaming my perspective. Don't expect the greatest camera work, like we've said, but if you guys are trying to figure out what's going on in the game, we've had situations in the past where our streamer has had like a hurricane come to his house and his power went out, and guess what? Everybody came to the Guff stream because I was going too, and we're all located in different parts of the US, so you know, it's like the backup server. So if you guys haven't seen that, I do that typically after a game. I stream from like 5 to midnight Pacific time, most like 5 days a week. So yeah, if you guys ever want to come by, watch out some random gameplay. I was playing Outlast for Halloween. I've been doing other games, so love to have you. I think I know I got a lot of followers that are from Pretenders that I know are like just like they're there for when the main channel goes down. So I know a lot of you guys know about the channel, but I'd love to have you guys down anytime. So if you need some easy entertainment, this is the guy right here.
Sweet.
All right, Guff, thank you so much again. And yeah, next we're actually gonna have Cypher come in. And yeah, thanks so much. Just thanks for everything that you do for Overwatch Pretenders, like for real.
Oh yeah, no problem, guys. And this is awesome. I love this podcast. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your morning or evening, depends on where you are. Yep. And yeah, cool guys. All right, well, I'll see you later.
Thanks very much. We'll have you on again sometime soon, definitely, for sure. Thanks very much for having us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, and do you want to get Cypher in immediately?
Yeah, hell, why not? Obviously, getting a different perspective from someone who is in a team that has kind of had a lot of ups and downs. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what Cypher has to say. We have a few questions, obviously, that we're going to ask her as well. Hi. And here we go. And they swap around. What? Hang on.
What?
What's going on?
Oh, did we swap around?
How have you done this? No,
NA
it's
production.
broken. Oh my lord.
I'm Guffinator now. Hello.
You're a Guffinator.
How's it
now.
going?
This is not good, boys.
Are you wearing an OGE Dallas Fuel jersey?
Yes, I am, and I have his signature and other people from Dallas who are on it.
That's pretty pog. Like, not gonna lie. Yeah, I look so different, right? How are you? Thanks so much for joining us on the stream.
Thank you. I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're doing really, really well. It's been
I'll be fine once this is sorted.
Like once we get another streamer, who's like controlling these, so Puppy doesn't have to talk as well as do all this stuff at the same time. We'll be able to talk a lot more freely than us sort of pulling our hair out behind the scenes. But it looks like you're definitely not doing that with Lightbringer's 4-0 over Mercury Cougars. Congratulations!
Thank you.
Such a massive victory. What were you guys' reactions sort of before and after, and like talk to me a little bit about like what you were feeling throughout sort of that entire process?
Well, from the beginning of it, we were what we heard was Mercury Cougars was getting pretty stacked with their new pickups as well, and we were thinking, okay, we're gonna have to work a bit hard for this. We're gonna have to grind. We got a lot of scrims in. We just picked up a new main tank a few days before we had the game.
Mm-hmm.
Myself, I was kind of worried. I was thinking, since last time we went, I actually don't remember the score from our last game against Mercury Cougars.
It was 3-1 us.
Yeah, 3-1. I was worried that it was going to be more of an upset and we were going to go to map 5 and we were going to have to work really hard for it, especially on map 1. Map 1 was such a good fight.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Nubani was so good.
Yeah.
But I was really proud of my team. Everyone popped off so well. I think it was probably one of our best games ever. I've seen so much improvement from our tanks and our DPS. I've been really happy with it.
Right. Don't you guys have like 6 coaches?
No, we do not. We have Blue as our main coach. We have Ad as our assistant coach, and we now have Djibouti as a second coach as he graduated.
Awesome. So we kind of all know the kind of like the story of sort of Lightbringers and everything like that, and they sort of struggled initially, but you've all sort of grown so much since then. Could you tell us a little bit about your sort of journey and sort of how you got there and kind of obviously all the changes that you had to go through and everything like that?
It's been such a long journey. I joined the server around in April, and Lightbringers was just a new team then. I joined as one of the first people, and we had 3 coaches, none of which were active. They never said anything. Most of our members weren't active as well. It was a disaster. Nothing was going right, and me and one teammate decided to kind of overthrow the coaches and create our new server and have a new beginning with everyone. And that's honestly what helped us out, because the original Lightbringers roster, only me and Figs are still here today. The rest are completely gone.
Wow.
But we were able to build up, find get a new coach, and just essentially just improve and become an actual strong team that we could win games and such.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's been such a long journey. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. No worries.
It's been such a long journey. I'm excited to see where else the team will go. I'm hoping that since we started last time from shambles to becoming one of the teams in playoffs, I'm hoping to improve even more where we can win this season ultimately.
Okay. Well, I mean, you have a really, really solid start so far, because playoffs, to my knowledge, it's actually not based on wins, it's based on map differential. And honestly, that's very much currently in your favor. So another question, I've had the privilege of sort of, being on the Lightbringers Discord and just saying hey to everyone. And you guys focus a lot on communication, on maintaining this really, really positive atmosphere, and it's a really good example, in my opinion, of hey, it's important to hold your teammates to a standard, but you can also be really nice about it. Do you feel like you don't see that a lot with the other teams that you've played with after, or rather, if any one team could learn something from Lightbringers, what would it be?
That's a really good question that I would have to think a lot about. I feel like I don't know how it is with other teammates, but being friends and being really close together is one of the biggest things ever. Because I think I remember seeing from one team, there's a lot of conflict between players and they weren't friends and such, which definitely tears up the team. For Lightbringers, we're always hanging out. We play games with each other. Even outside of Overwatch, we play a lot of Jackbox together and we make jokes. And we've just become really good friends, which honestly helps out so much.
Mm-hmm.
To have that rapport with each other, definitely. It builds a trust as well, and with these friendships that you sort of make, that you can sort of know a little bit more about them than just playing alongside them as a teammate. So yeah, I can completely understand that. I felt very similar like that with the guys in Mercury Cougars, and I can definitely echo your opinion that it's important to have that rapport with your teammates, so that you can kind of talk open and honestly with them as well at the end of games, and know that obviously that your intentions are not malicious or anything like that. It's just to kind of all improve as a team and everything like that. So if people know that you're like that, then yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, definitely.
And I actually do want to be the person to be like, pups, we get it, Overwatch Pretenders loves you, just regardless. And I think everyone's been in a situation where they wanted to be Who is that? Who is that?
That is
Introduce her.
That is Mewbot. She was a part of Scorched last season. Now she's a team helper for Lightbringers. Is there anything you want to say instead of invading? Yeah, so that was Mewbot. She helps out.
2 first reveals in one. Holy shit.
Of course, it was great. And I mean, at least we're both siblings, if you guys didn't know that.
Oh. Did not know that. There we go.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, that's a thing. So.
Sorry, what were you saying prior to that, 4Base?
What I was trying to say is, I think everyone can empathize with the wanting to be, part of a group, and so much that that they would be, that they just do anything for it. So yeah. in many ways, we all get it. There's a reason we came to Overwatch Pretenders, and that's to find a team and to really have this competitive environment that Overwatch most flourishes in, and you found that in MC. And actually, it's also for improvement, and the fact that you improved up to Masters showed that we achieved our goal. right?
Sure.
So if anything, congrats on being really case in point, one of the fantastic graduates of Overwatch Pretenders University. Go compete in Open Division, and you know that we're gonna have your back every step of the way, right?
I appreciate that, and
Right.
do you know what? I appreciate how understanding everyone has been, including Cypher as well. You kind of a debt really for being so understanding about the whole thing. I think it'd be probably been a little bit more awkward if it kind of the score had been a little bit different, and obviously there would have been a little bit more discussion around that, sort of with the admins and stuff. But I think the way that's obviously all panned out, I'm really appreciative of obviously all your kind of understanding and support, and yeah, it's been good. So it kind of is a real true reflection of how the OWP is.
Yeah, there was no reason to really like get worked up over it. I didn't see it as something super fatal. It was just an occurrence that happens. You just have to deal with it. It's no reason to just someone to baby rage about it. It's more about congratulating you that you got to master. That's really good.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was definitely when I was doing it. I there's nothing more that I wanted to say. You know, it's a success, and you guys have helped me so much. Like in terms of like the OWP and everything that have helped me so much, and I think that was something that I really wanted to share. But at the same time, I had this kind of this feeling of I don't want to stop playing. I don't want to kind of have to leave my teammates and stuff like that. And it was just like, yeah, come on. But yeah, so it's yeah, ambivalence, I guess, is the best word for it. So obviously, let's get back to yourself and everything that. Really appreciate you sort of being here and sort of going through all the kind of ins and outs of your team and everything that happened against the Mercury Cougars. Do you have anything in terms of social media or a Twitch channel that you want to plug, or anything? Basically, this is your time now, just to kind of express some gratitude towards someone or anything like that. Name a few people from your team.
Oh, are we plugging?
We are plugging.
Are we plugging? Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I'm
Okay.
ready.
Well, I do have a Twitch channel, but the sad thing is that my stream, last time I streamed, it was awful. It was like 5 frames per second. I cannot stream at all, which is sad. I'm hoping to one day, and definitely then I'll plug my stuff so I can, get popularity and like have everyone watch and have a good time, really, because that's the best part, interacting with your stream. People I want to shout out, definitely, all of Lightbringers, really. That's most of it. I want to give a huge shout out to our coach Blue, who completely just really helped shape our team. He turned me from being really garbage on Zen and stuff. I just was like mid to low plat, and to building me up to, I think, a usually good player. But he's also shaped other people as well. I just want to thank him for that. And like again, I said, Lightbringers, I love you guys all. You guys are my favorite team ever. I think that's all I have to plug. There's really nothing else for me to say right now. Maybe one day I'll plug more though.
So just okay. I have 2 questions real quick before you head out. One,
Yes?
do you think mid to low plat is garbage? Because you just said
No.
you were a garbage Zen at mid to low plat, and I think you owe all of Overwatch Pretenders an apology.
Throw it under the bus, match.
Okay, listen. I don't know how, but I got to mid to low plat, which I didn't deserve because I was absolute garbage. I don't know how, because everyone was so much better than me. I just was so lucky to get to mid to low plat. But yeah,
Have some faith in yourself. Have your faith in yourself. Come on. We've all seen what you play like. You're definitely you're being too hard on yourself there, I think. So
yeah, anyone watching, just watch the Lightbringers and Mercury Cougars VOD.
Yeah. And I have one more question, and this was sent to me in a DM. I've been told that your tagalog is trash, and I'm supposed to tell you that. So don't know what that means.
You pronounce it's Tagalog. First of all,
we're not tagging along for this language. It's Tagalog. Got it.
Oh my god.
That was a bad joke. I don't know what that was all about.
I didn't even deserve the kind of like exasperated laugh that I just gave it, to be honest.
Please don't clip that. I was there. I was there with like a good roast, and it just went to the ground.
You could have tried better. There's potential, but no.
Yeah, and feel free to yeah, feel free to roast me in chat. But in any case, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And you know, we're gonna get you on the rematch for sure. From all of us at MC.
Without me.
Don't count us out. Don't count us out just yet.
Well, whenever you guys come back, we'll be working to become better and stronger. But I still hope it all goes well. I'm ready to face you guys again.
Awesome.
All right. Hey, take care. Thank you again.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
very much.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you as well. Alrighty.
Sweet. So we are down to our. Oh my god, we're already straight in with the next interview with Ember. Of course, the man himself. So Ember, how you doing, man? You got your microphone on?
Yeah, I'm here, right? You can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
How do you do?
I feel starstruck in many ways because I'm like, oh, this is someone who I've talked to before. This is someone who's who I've heard a lot about and who's been a topic of contention for, you know, a lot of Overwatch Pretenders history. And I have a lot of questions for you, right? So we're gonna be hopefully, you know, running you through this gauntlet as well as picking out some cool Twitch questions. So hey, you know, post those in chat. But you know, first things first, how are you? How's life?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
I never really have anything going on, so here I am.
Okay. Well, I want to talk to you a little bit about your history with the game. How did you get involved with Overwatch, and why did you start Overwatch Pretenders?
Okay, so I mean, I got into it just because I came from Paladins actually, and I saw this, and yeah, okay, so I played Paladins, and then I
Flip
came
it.
to this game. Yeah, that's basically it. But then this one was just better in every way, so I stayed and played Reinhardt for way too long.
What kind of
Right.
So what you brought us all together in the OWP, and I think we obviously owe you a lot for that. Where did this idea come from, and did you expect it to get this big?
I had no idea. Okay, so I liked the idea of Overwatch League and was like, hey, why not make that, but for all the people who aren't good enough to get paid? That was basically my thought.
It was that simple, and it from that, you know, I think it's really kind of truly inspiring that something has just started off as an initial kind of just, oh, this would be quite kind of cool if we did this, and eventually just turned into something as big as it has. And I think that's a real testament to kind of your willingness to kind of put yourself out there and kind of just allow people to sort of come together as a group of people who enjoy this game and enjoy it together. So I think that's definitely a lot of kudos to you for doing so. So obviously talking about the sort of growth of the server, it's grown to, I think we last time we checked it was about over 800 people. So did you what sort of initial challenge did you have?
Coaches are really hard to find. That's for sure. Because nobody wanted to do it really, except for like Cher. Cher's first coach, Cher's best coach. Other than that, I mean, like, trying to find people wasn't really hard because just everyone wanted to be a part of it, and it was like so many people were joining. It was really hard to like keep track of everything, growing so rapidly that I even like back then it was just like I was going crazy trying to keep everything in order.
Yeah. It really does seem like a lot of effort for, you know, just one person to take on. And I wanted to ask if burnout was the reason that you chose to leave Overwatch Pretenders after the Season 1 final of Artificial Sky versus Scorched, which, you know, you weren't there for. And I think a lot of people were kind of looking for, you know, like that final hurrah. Talk to me a little bit about the moments leading up to that last game itself, and why exactly you left.
Well, yeah, I kind of throughout the last few weeks of the season, I was kind of just trying to push toward the end of it, because I didn't really feel like I wanted to play Overwatch anymore. I was kind of getting bored with it, kind of not finding as much fun with it. And overall, our team kind of agreed that the league didn't pose enough of a challenge for us. So
okay.
we were thinking about just trying to find a more competition, as well as just not have much fun, at least on my part.
And so, are you participating in Open Division right now?
I left the team, kinda. Like, I'm still with them, but like, I'm not on the team anymore. I'm not playing. They found new main tank, so.
Are you looking to kind of like to carry on with that? Are you looking to kind of potentially join a new team or come back to Scorched, or are you looking to kind of sort of scratch that itch in a different way, or have you just lost that itch altogether to play in a kind of competitive setup?
Well, currently I want to fix my computer because it's been running slow recently, so that's going to be priority one. But I also have like college and like real life around the corner, so I have to figure out what I'm going to do with myself.
Well, luckily we can hear you perfectly fine without any lag. Was there any, rather, when you did leave, there was I feel a lot of emotions, both good and bad about you leaving. Why do you think that was? Do you think there was a lot of tension in your last moments, in Overwatch Pretenders? Like, I want to know. I
definitely it wasn't always a beacon of light in the community.
Tell me about it.
I got into a lot of heated arguments with admin fellows and other staff along the way because just of differing viewpoints. Like especially what? I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, but like, I mean, maybe creating my own team. I didn't really see much of a problem with it. And I still really don't, because I did it according to all the guidelines. I did it in the way that it said I had to, but it still was a topic of contention where people didn't want me to do it. People thought it was unfair and that I was cheating in some way.
Yeah.
Why do people think you were cheating?
I don't know. I mean, our record stands to show that we did pretty well. So
yeah, 9-0 in the season. It's very admirable, no doubt. Do you think there was a bit of salt from everyone being like, who is this guy thinking he can waltz all over us because he started this thing and ending up 9-0ing us? Do you think there was?
I
do you think there was a little bit of that?
So. Yeah. That's all I can say is yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that, and I think a lot of people kind of forget, and including myself at points, that you were the one that kind of started this all off, and we actually owe a lot, obviously, to that, because I wouldn't have met a lot of people that I consider myself consider sort of real, sort of proper friends. So yeah, I think definitely from myself, and I imagine from a lot of people within OWP, we would say thank you to you for doing that in the first place. But yeah, obviously moving on with some more questions that we have. So season, before you left, you played on 3 teams, I think, in total. What was your kind of favorite parts, and what were your least favorite parts in terms of like playing with all 3 of those teams? Because I imagine you have like a broad range of experience of what it's like working with all different kinds of people and in all different kinds of situations at all different levels. So yeah, what was your favorite and least favorite points in that?
Well, in all technicality, I was actually part of 4 teams.
4? Was
Which
it 4?
ones?
Oh right, okay, there you go.
So we all know Mercury Cougars, Scuffed, and Scorched. But at the beginning, when the whole draft idea was like the first draft ever happened, I was actually picked up by Seven Sins, but their coaching that was a mess. So I did not want to be there. I wanted to go to somewhere else that actually had.
Why was it a mess?
Neither of the coaches wanted to do anything. So I left that team, and then we got different coaches in there,
Could you name names?
Let's not go down that route. I don't think we should go down that route. Let's not name and shame people. That's what we're gonna go down. But yeah, so you just decided to join Mercury Cougars at that sort of time. What was your kind of how did you enjoy being part of obviously the team?
Right? No, that was Scuffed next.
Was it Scuff next? Oh, Scuff next. Too. Oh, of course, yes. I read it through Twitch chat, so blame that on them for giving me incorrect information. So,
Stupid Twitch chat.
Never believe what Twitch chat shares, guys.
So after that, I went to Scuffed, which Scuffed was really, they were like kind of a family, like how any team would be, but it was probably the most toxic and competitive family I would ever have been a part of. There was a lot of fighting there.
Is that like just like difference of opinions and how that things should be working? Is it just like just people in game just kind of getting a bit frustrated?
I'm a definitely a person who like likes challenges and like is competitive. So it was Lycanthrope was already on that team, and we all know that he can play a mean main tank. So it was kind of between us, like we were splitting the job. I usually was the one playing Reinhardt because that's all I can do. So I was doing that and he was doing anything else of the main tank variety. And then there was also Hentai as the coach, which if anyone can remember him, that was a mess.
I think he's back in the server.
Is he?
I believe so.
That's hilarious.
Wait, yeah, no, that person and Scuffed Ghost Peppy are the same person, right? I'm pretty sure.
Look at me.
Confirm. Chat confirm. Chat confirm. Yay! Yes. Yep, that's it. Yep. Yeah, I'm unaware of what his current status is. I don't know if he's allowed to coach. To my knowledge, he isn't. Or they. I don't know what pronouns they go by. But yeah, I'm curious on if you've, just behind the scenes, have you followed Overwatch Pretenders at all? Like really. Even after you've left? No, you haven't.
Okay. I stopped in to watch a little bit of the first game.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mild Esports versus Suya, right?
I saw Dandy there and it was like, ha, that's so funny.
Why is that funny?
Because Dandy's on our team.
Was on your team.
Was okay. He's still like around,
Right. No, of course. I'm just giving you shit. Nah,
we good.
Am I allowed to swear on stream? Did we just get demonetized? Sorry.
I think I said the F word earlier, so yeah.
Oh well.
I've already gone full Gordon Ramsay on this. So I think it's fine.
So I'm discount Harsha, right? So there you go. That's my Halloween costume. That's my Halloween costume. Before you left, you said that Nova would be the team to beat in the league. I remember that. We all know the copy pasta, right? You still think so? And if so, why?
I really like Nova. They've been one of my favorite teams throughout the history of the league. First off, they're still there after all of these seasons, which is one of the only teams that can actually say that. At least with their original branding and everything intact. And they always have a core group of positive people, and they're always looking forward, like they're looking to become a better team, and they're not really ever salty, which is really it's fun to play against them, because they're always a challenging team to beat, especially with that Ilios Well situation, if you all remember.
I don't think I was here for the Ilios Well situation. What happened?
It was the fifth map semifinals, right?
I don't know.
It was Scorched Nova, and we jumped into like half our team jumped into the well.
Oh, got it.
We lost that part of the map, and then had to come back and rally the last two of the Ilios map to take it. And that
was Was that intentional? Like, was that a bit of like BM behind it, or what?
Yeah, I think.
Was Scorched?
It wasn't me who did it. It was Can and Turk, I think. jumped in the mouth. That was
yes,
they
the
terrified
only
me.
one flex support that Opsid respects.
Sorry,
that's for chat.
That was a close nail biter right there.
So, I have a lot of questions that I know for a fact that like Puppy is going to totally stop me from asking, primarily regarding like
Just do it quick.
Your relationship with the admin team. Tell me about that. Why was it bad?
Yeah, again, just different viewpoints. It was like
I want you to go into more detail. I know you have an answer.
That's a good answer, Amber. That's a very good answer.
Give me an answer.
I mean, Melody's great.
There was hesitation. There was hesitation after you said that.
No, there was hesitation because I was trying to think of the other 10 members of the admin team.
Okay.
Because Melody's the best one, and then everyone else is there.
Mm-hmm.
No, RW is pretty good. He's always a nice dude. Rick.
All right, that's a one-word answer. Sounds good.
Rick. That's. If I have to nail a problem, that'd be it. So I'm gonna leave that.
Okay. Is it reheatable? Is it?
If you're
Okay. Well, anyway, tell me more, Ember.
About Rick?
Just about no, just about anything you want to talk about. This is very much your realm.
Let's see. I was
Okay, rather question. If it's personal, we're gonna avoid that. But if there's anything else you want to talk about.
Okay, I've got a question. What happened? So many things happened so fast when I like. What happened with all the like rebranding and the new teams and stuff? What's going on there?
Sure. Well, actually, for that information, you could definitely go on to OwPretenders.com. Go to teams.
Seamless.
All right, and you could definitely find that information out there. But if you're curious, Seven Sins is staying the same. Disasterisk rebranded over to Action News Team. Mercury Cougars is Mercury Cougars. Nova is Nova. Scuffed rebranded over to Night Ops. Skyhounds is Skyhounds. Toxic Storm is Toxic Storm. Lightbringers is Lightbringers, and we have 4 new teams in Alpine Wolves, Breakthrough, Single Woman in Your Area, and Mild Esports.
I always, what's it called? I always made it a point when I was there to try to keep the names seeming like they wanted to be a competitive team. And,
yeah.
So I see that you guys possibly are trying to stray away from that, maybe.
Well, we I can't speak for the admin team considering I'm not one, but I will say that I think a lot of people are having fun with the liberty that they've been given.
I mean, that's fair, yeah.
Right. So we have that. I really do miss Disasterisk. I really like that name. If anything, I think it's Disasterisk. That's cool.
It was an interesting name, and it was hilarious because nobody ever understood it, ever.
Oh yeah.
So it was like this star or something, and it's like then you tell them what it is, and they're like, yeah, okay, get it. But it was always like the initial thing where it was like, what does this mean? Because it's always written dis star.
Right.
It was never like disastrous. Nobody ever like really headed up with that.
Okay. Were there any other people in the admin team that, and I just did get this cleared by Rick, by the way. Is there anybody else in the admin team that you have any comments about?
Nah.
No.
I think
good answer.
All right.
I liked most of the admin team. Most of it. Most of it was pretty good. Most of it. Maybe most.
Fantastic.
Most.
Cool.
Most.
Okay.
So I don't know if did you ask because I had to focus on something else a little while. But do you have you got anything that you particularly want to plug in terms of like your social media or anything like that? I don't know if Forebears has already asked you to do this, but yeah, it's been great having you on to sort of discuss this.
Yeah, if I wanted to like plug anything right now,
for sure, go for it.
I want to plug Puppy reheating his food.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's gonna suck considering it's rice. So yeah,
Oof.
But I'm doing it for the podcast. So it's all good. We can reheat.
Okay. All right. Well, in any case, thank you so much for joining us on the stream and still being sort of part of the Pretenders family, even though you have sort of put some distance between you and what you've created. But yeah, is there if you want any shout outs, go ahead right now. But yeah, just thanks again for not having us. Thanks for coming on.
Let's go Nova.
All right, let's go Nova. And we're back to 2. We're back to 2 people.
Sweet. Well, that concludes the interview section of our podcast. Obviously, there's one bit left for us to do, which is to go through kind of the favorite plays and everything like that we have, and also we've got a little bit on upcoming events and everything else to do with sort of what's been happening in the OWP server, so that you guys want to discuss. We'll kind of, I think at the end probably it might be nice to do, and I'm sure Forebears would agree, a little bit of a Q&A with us, and kind of ask us any questions that you feel to do with OWP or the new changes or anything like that. Kind of ask me anything really. So yeah, for sure. Just Forebears.
Hey, what's up?
I'm going to sort out the cams real quick. So what have your thoughts been to do with like the sort of first week? How do you think structure wise? Do you reckon it's worked okay? Because obviously, like you being a sort of this being your first experience of the OWP setup and everything like that. How have you found kind of the first week in terms of like organization and everything?
Honestly, the first week's been chaotic. Straight up, I'm not gonna pull punches. It's been hard covering from a journalistic perspective. People, like on the pod perspective of like 3 games on that Friday night, and I get that that's when people are the most active. When you're also playing in one, right? And I know I've been really. It's been tough covering things that like I guess you're not there for, right? I guess like I had to look for the Alpine Wolves breakthrough VODs to like go through and try to find people that I really liked, and or not really liked, rather plays I really liked, and I wish that the pod get a bit more help with that. And I think like a big way that the pod could get help with that is literally just people here right now, right in the chat, create clips. That's it. Just create clips. That I know it saves me a lot of time, sort of like going through them and saying like, okay, hey, here are some cool plays that other people thought it was cool, right? And just making sure like that logistical thing goes out, because a lot of it in many ways is us too, and we do have a team over the pod, but we could always use more help, that sort of thing. But also it's like Overwatch World Cup week, it's BlizzCon week. Obviously week 1's going to be chaotic because people want to watch matches, people want to talk about how Jonak got MVP or how fantastic Fusions was in the UK map, so on and so forth, right? There was just a lot of stuff this week, and I'm looking forward to week 2 sort of slowing down in terms of a whole lot of the stuff we have to put out, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, week 2, it's I think it's gonna be a lot more streamlined from the pod perspective as well. We're gonna have a new streamer at that point. We're going to have more interviews. Hopefully we're a bit more on time this time. And
technical difficulties with this, yeah.
And to be completely honest, I did want more juice. I'm right there with you, chat. But luckily, I'm the bad cop. Puppy's the good cop. And
someone has to keep me in line. Someone has to keep a lid on it, okay? Someone has to kind of keep us from sort of going backwards in Yeah, I won't say anymore.
Did
anyway.
you? Did I? I still want it. But yeah.
Well,
speaking of which,
I'm not here for much longer, so I'm only here until next month. So after that, then I've got no control over this whatsoever. So you're free to do with what you want, I guess. But yes. Anyway, we can move swiftly on.
Yeah. Well, rather just last bit. I was about to say. For this season, Puppy's going to be here as my co-host, but for the playoffs and for season 2 of the Pretender Pod, I'm going to need another co-host because Puppy's traveling. He's going to be sort of out
temporary
of his
co-host.
home for temporary co-host.
I'm coming back. God damn it!
6 months. Yeah, he's coming back. Right, that's going to be a promise. But I'm going to need help. Straight up. Help us, please.
Yes. So I see this.
If you're interested in being a co-host, hey, that's something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you want to put your name forward, then let us know. Either myself or Forebears know. We'll definitely put you in sort of consideration for being that co-host. Kind of taking over from myself there. Hopefully by this point we should have kind of worked out all the kinks. So it's just very much a case of just kind of chilling out and kind of just sort of discussing a few things with chat in the background. So it's definitely not a stressful job in any way, shape or fashion. So I see a few of you guys sort of asking questions in the chat. We will get to an AMA at the end. I'm looking specifically at you, Dork. I have seen your question, but I can't sort of. We'll do that at the end. We'll save the questions for last. So yeah, anything that you do want to ask, keep them in your head, write them down. We'll ask them at the end. But for now, we're going to shoot straight over and do some plays of the week and misplays of the week if we have any. I don't think we have any misplays of the week.
I don't think so. Well, let's start off with some highlights of week 1.
Definitely do. Okay. Let me see. So basically, I think we'll go through these kind of one by one. I'm not too sure exactly how this is going to work. I hope I've got it set up properly. He says,
thoughts on Brock's #1 Forebears fan. So he always has a special place in my heart.
Right, window capture. This is it. Right, so let's actually get it onto something there. So initially, I think we wanted to cover this. I kind of just sort of we collated a few of our favorite ones, including ones of our own team as well. So please don't hate us for putting in our own sort of stuff as well. But we did in our first game against Lightbringers on Numbani, in this very tight game, we decided to pull out a Bastion, which was played by myself actually, which I actually really enjoyed playing because everybody kind of focused on keeping me alive, which was really good fun to kind of have everybody kind of just trying to keep you alive like desperately. So yeah, no, it was particularly good. So we can talk through this as it goes along.
Actually, I was the one who submitted this simply because it was a very, very unconventional move. Our coaches gave us a total earful after this, but we just capped Numbani. We're gonna go in with just an immediate partnership because it's overtime, right? We wanna push this payload for as long as possible, and we do end up winning this first team fight. We end up losing this game to Lightbringers, but anyway, it was just. If anything, I think it highlights, how important versatility is in this team comp. Saskia and Ember has already been interviewed. Yeah,
it was a funny little moment, that's for sure. And definitely right here, I owed Spidey my life, honestly, for that shield, because otherwise I would have been dead, and that would have been probably game over for us. So yeah, it was just a funny little play we wanted to share with you guys, and really enjoyed it. Next up, we have the Nighthawk versus Seven Sins game. Diffuse from Seven Sins actually getting, I think it's a few kills.
This is a fantastic example of IDKdo's DPS. Like, I just want you guys to pay attention. I wrote the kill feed comes through, but while Diffuse is just putting a lot of pressure on the backline, IDKdo just gets a triple, actually a quad, including Diva's mech, and he almost single-handedly takes the point. So hey, roll the clip.
I've got some fireworks going off in the background. Holy crap! It is
Puppy lives in the hood.
I live. Oh yeah, gunshots going off in the back. Crikey, yeah. So there's a prime example of those dash resets being really useful.
It's ridiculous. I wish I could have seen this from his point of view. World Cup viewer, when you coming to Pretenders, dude?
For sure, yeah. I definitely think that's a real good as a real good example of how a comp like this, where you've got that kind of airborne sort of splash damage from Diffuse playing the Pharah, and obviously Genji on that kind of ground, kind of providing a lot of pressure onto your backline as well. It really shows kind of how difficult that is to focus on, because at one hand you're trying to peel for your the people, the Pharah who's shooting down from above, and then also you've got the Genji sort of dashing through you with plenty of resets. So yeah, fantastic play from both the DPS and the rest of the team as well.
But also like the Nano Winston, right? It's like obviously you have this big glowing monkey that everyone's focusing on, which leaves IDK to just kind of just do his thing.
Yeah, I mean, they expended really one ult there, which is a real good
they only extended one ult, and I wish I could see the other ultimates, but they did a really good job of rotating ults on this map too. So anyway, what's the next one?
Moisty from Single in your
this is just a triple on HLC. I just love this clip so much. Moisty just really throwing it down where it counts.
Hella good. I always love seeing winning clips. They always make me smile, especially when a couple of little dinks there. See, this is why I've sort of said Moisty is one of those ones that you really got to keep an eye out for. You leave him uncontested on a Widow, or like a hit scan hero like Widow or McCree, and he's going to tear you up. So let this be a lesson to you guys, all you guys out there. Don't leave this man alone.
It's more like, position yourself so that crossfires aren't a thing, right? Because like over here you have a lot of people just putting a lot of pressure on that Zarya like already, and like you see people going into like the space section and just sort of running around people in circles, and that just leaves people like Moisty and other very proficient Widows to just go to the races. Tagalog is not a fake language. I looked it up. So there you go.
All right. So I think that was most of our.
I think there's one more
from this week. I think that was the plays from this week. I think we're now on to kind of plays that people have submitted that they wanted to kind of in remembrance of season 1, right. With all those sort of players that we've lost. I know that you have one on here particularly that I am particularly fond of because it reminds me of a certain person. But yes, this one's clipped by David. I don't actually know what happens in it.
Let's find out.
Maybe it's a C9 moment. I haven't seen any of these clips, so I'm reacting to these live. So you also
and honestly, submit clips in like whatever format you can, just to either myself or Pups.
It's gonna happen.
And so let's see, we're just kind of
escorting the payload. It's like the red team are regrouping at the moment. Send a Diva Bomb in and they C9. Oh my lord. Oh yes, I remember this now.
Is this what happens? C9. Oh no.
The forced C9. I tell you what, almost as good as the one that Guffinator actually, I think it was Lightbringers actually, who C9 last season against Mercury Cougars on Volskaya first point. They to win the match it was as well. They got off the point. They pushed ahead to try and take the point, and we ended up. I can't remember if we drew or what. Mm-hmm. I can't remember exactly how it ended up, but basically they C9. That was a funny one as well. That reminds me of that. That was probably this one isn't so bad because at least there's a reason for them to get off the point. Is that the bomb? So
right,
really good clip. I enjoy that. Okay. This next one, cool. Ardent, your boy Ardent from Mercury Cougars. This one
is this a pre-Forebears' MC game?
It was, yes. We used to have Ardent, who used to be an absolutely fantastic Zenyatta, and you all know him as being a little bit of a troll sometimes as well. Funny guy, great to play with when he's not tilted. So this is a funny little clip of him playing Lucio. I'm not entirely sure what was going on in his head, to be honest. He decided that he was going to just sit in the back line.
And just not do anything? Is that what it looks like? That's what it looks like, yeah.
Just chilling. Melody had no idea whatsoever.
Gosh, dude, what a...
Melody giving a little
when,
cheeky
like,
white wave
when
as
when you hear the Lucio song and you're like, where's it coming from?
yeah. Melody just sort of appears around and sees Ardent there. He does actually manage to get back to the team, which is actually quite incredible, to be honest. So I think we ended up losing that map as well. So I was like, for fuck's sake, Ardent, why? So yeah, no, it was a really good moment. Definitely very enjoyable, and one I'll remember for the rest of my days. Oh, okay. Is this the? This might actually be the C9. It is the C9, I think.
Two C9s. Call it a C18. What's going on?
I think this is the C9 for Lightbringers. Oh, I just hit spacebar instead of go.
Wait, do we have two Lightbringer C9s in the same video? Man.
It is the C9 moment.
Okay, well, what happens here? Like, walk me through this.
No! Wait, you.
Just sorry, I should turn the sound on for this one, because this is the one that does actually have sound.
Sure. I'll be quiet. Go for it.
You can hear this sort of
Sorry, I can die.
Lucio. I'm gonna push out the point. No!
Wait, you like?
What?
Actual C9.
oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
The immediate like reaction, everyone. Oh, dude, it's like run that through. Like, oh gosh.
Yeah, fantastic. That was back in the, what was that? Was that the playoffs as well? That was for the playoffs. Yeah, because I remember that was a really important game between us and Lightbringers to determine who was going to move on into the kind of the playoffs. And I think if we'd have won the next two, I think the next two maps we would have won, but I think they ended up winning it. They obviously took it for us.
Right,
so,
right.
So yeah, that concludes all of our
all of our stuff. Yeah, well, rather there were so many moments in week one just that I'm sure you guys are thinking, like, why didn't you put in Leone's 3K on Ant versus Nova on Oasis Gardens? Why didn't you put in, like Rita Rabbit's insane shatter on the on his game? And just there were a lot of great moments to choose from, but let me be the first one to say, like, you know what, like on this, if you're waiting for just more content, check out those VODs. That's some good Overwatch, right? Support your team, like support your teams that aren't yours, right? Cheer them on, and because that's just how we all grow, just both as friends, as family, so on and so forth, right? So definitely check those out. And yeah, obviously, I mean, we're just gonna plug our own stuff, follow us on Twitter, even though we don't tweet anything
at the moment. We will after we're waiting for episode 1 to get out of the way. Now we're gonna kind of be more active and everything like that.
So... and week 2 is also gonna be great. Please create clips. Helps us out a bunch. Please do.
Submit them to your team cohorts as well, so that they can get into us. That's the easiest way for us to kind of collate them and get them onto the stream, and make sure that you guys get the recognition that you deserve. So no, Sid, the Q&A is not done. So yes, now is your time to ask me and Forebears anything that you feel is a...
we'll stick around for like 5 minutes, and then we're probably going to host someone really big so we can say Overwatch Pretenders just hosted with 28 people right now, and then they'll be like, Overwatch Pretenders, what's that? And then they'll check it out. So that's the strat.
And then clip us. And then someone clip that, and then send it to the Overwatch Pretenders channel, because I can't, for obvious reasons.
So anyway, we'll be around for 5 minutes. Hey, let's chat. What's going on? How's it going, pups? How's it going?
Good. Yeah, chilling out. My food's getting cold, so
you have to reheat it.
Why
don't you go reheat it? I'll talk with chat for a second.
It's all good. It's probably cold regardless now, so it's gonna be a while. That's fine.
Right.
It's 37 minutes ago, so yeah, it's probably like gonna be a bodged reheat job. Who's the guest for next week? Oh, thoughts on Rick.
7 out of 10, Lucio. Thoughts on Endo's main tank play? I think Endo's better than Ronin in the Ant versus Nova game. I just thought, if you look at like block shatters, and if you look at just the matchup and just how aggressive Ant was in enabling their Rhine, I think they did a better job of that. I think Nova's off tank play was better though in that game. So there you go.
Who's the guest for next week?
So we're
don't
gonna
actually
decide that.
Yeah.
We're gonna decide that. I'm thinking I was in talks with bringing in like a tier 2 coach, like a contenders coach. So like that'd be really cool. So I've hit them up. So regardless, we're gonna have a really like cool guest line, obviously. I think I met Achilles IRL, so he might be coming in, like next to me, and it might be like, hey, time to have two Lucios on this side.
2v1.
I don't know. We'll see, right? So
we have a few people that are interested in interviews. We have seen the guys of you who have submitted the kind of fact that you are interested. Obviously, the team reps,
we have seen that.
Team reps, please sort of ask your teams who would be interested on sort of discussing, coming on and sort of chatting with us. Obviously, we will let you know ahead of time the questions that we're going to ask, so it's not, you can prepare answers, so it's not just a kind of like, oh god, kind of a really sort of
right.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Spidey, aka #1 Ash player in the world? We all know that's Brock Spidey, please. Thoughts on your streamer Lazy? Please help. Please. You were so good. Please help.
Thoughts on your streamer? Who's?
Oh, that's Lazy, aka I'm really Leon, aka Dante.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, that person. AKA the person with like the Farah profile photo who's like rolling their eyes. So.
Right, yeah. Adam, what does it feel like to be rolled by late springers last week? I wouldn't agree that we got rolled. I think we gave them a good fight. I think they were definitely the better team at the end, and I think they deserved the win. In all honesty, it was a frustrating match, but yeah, definitely deserved 4-0. So yeah,
right.
That's my answer to that one.
Yeah. And oh gosh, there was one more. Who are your top 5 teams in Pretenders? Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Top 5s in Pretenders. Oh god. I got to remember what I said on my stream actually, because I think I went with. Let me have a look. I'm so terrible at this.
So while you're doing that, I'm gonna say from the bottom, or rather in no specific order. Single woman in your area, Alpine Wolves, Lightbringers, Nova, Ant. Those are my 5. Yep.
Right. So I think I went with. Ant. It was top 4, isn't it?
I just went.
Okay. These are not in any particular order. Ant, Suia, Nova, and I think if we're not including our own team because obviously we're biased, I think that Lightbringers. So those are my 4. So I think I very similar to you, apart from
yeah.
Mild esports maybe getting a bit slept on as well, to be honest. So
yeah, I feel like Breakthrough's getting slept on for sure. As is Toxic Storm. I mean, honestly, like they did 4-0 a team, like, right? So I mean, that has to count.
Definitely.
So, I think we're just about ready to wrap this up here.
Yeah. I think it's been a very successful first podcast. A few little glitches again, down to for some reason the actual cameras going in different places. I'm not entirely sure why. seem to swap forebears out for someone else. That's going to be something to work on, I guess. We'll have to figure that one out at some point.
So, just real quick, in around 1 hour, Ascenders Cup Finals is also going to come on. Be sure to check out Night Ops vs. Action News Team over at 7:30 on Wednesday the 7th. Those are the only 2 things on the calendar right now, guys. Be sure to schedule your things. Right, there's your message from the pod. Be sure to schedule yo shit. All right. Anyway, thanks so much for joining. You can find all of our stuff. Do we have stuff?
What
do
stuff?
we? We
what
don't
do you
have
mean by stuff? What do you mean by stuff?
I mean, okay. Like we put all of our stuff on like the Pretenders YouTube. We have our own Twitter and Discord, and like, hey, but yeah, and thanks so much for tuning in. Who we want to host?
No, I haven't thought of that. I can't even host anyone because I haven't got access to the channel. So one of the guys is gonna have to do it.
Yeah, guys, give us host suggestions. Give us host suggestions. Actually, do we want to host? What is it? Do we want to host Ascenders Cup? Someone tell me the Ascenders Cup Twitch URL.
I think it's just on here, isn't it?
Is it? Is it on here? Anyway, for the YouTube video, find the stuff in the description below. Oh, and also, hey, just to everyone, if you liked what you heard, tell us. If you don't liked what you heard, hey, tell us. It helps a lot. That feedback's really important. And yeah, so show. Thank you, Guffinator. We're streaming the finals at 7 EST.
Okay, until then, we can host someone else, I guess. Then. So yeah, I guess there's not really much to us to say whilst you guys figure out who you're going to host. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll be back next week around the same time, around whatever time it is for you. I can't remember PST. EST 12 noon. 5
it's gonna be
BST,
it's going to be
GMT now.
noon EST Sundays. That's gonna be our thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for tuning, guys. See you later.